I suppose so. I mean, that's like destroying a frost mat as you're jumping on it.
Exactly. And
I suppose.
It works.
Oh,
it works
I'll
pretty
give you that. I'll give you that. It's
smart guy.
It's like Q. Well, not going to deal with Glass like you mentioned. It might get banned, might get played, depending on the map. In this case, not going to get played, and that is due to Space Station not wanting to deal with it, which I don't blame them for. Maverick he's also a good operator on this map. I'm not surprised to see that, especially on the top floor.
Yeah, if you're attacking Trophy.
Yeah. He's can be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
We saw teams like Panics, for example, playing a lot of Maverick, trying to take advantage of that.
No longer on Penta Panics.
Yeah, no.
Blast is now on.
Yeah, well, at least there's someone.
All right, well, Echo will be the one removed, and Space Station probably won't ban the Maestro, right? There you go. Class going to get removed.
That makes sense,
yeah.
After what I was saying about what Gotcha was doing earlier.
Yeah, maybe that will translate into something that has already been prepared by the squad, but, you know, who knows?
Well, this seemed like some good counter banning going on here, banning operators that they know each other good at. I got to imagine they know how to deal with Maestro to an extent. But it's like, it's not even just his gadget. His gun is so brutal. And Redeemer is a good Maestro player, not just an average Maestro player. So they are definitely going to have to deal with that, as you said, once they get to that site. But
so good.
They've got to get there first. It's easier said than done.
So good. Friendship with easily ended. Friendship with the Redeemer now in play. There you go.
Traitor.
I'm sorry, Kev. I love you. Anyways, that aside, let's get into this matchup. Again, Villa, a highly technical map.
Yeah.
There's quite a few moving parts to this map that allows teams to really do whatever they want on defense. You want to roam, you're good. You want to play more on-site and anchor, works out pretty well as well. It just depends on how you maneuver throughout. Now, what you see Thinking Nate doing here early on is destroying the front of, or the floor right in front of the wall. And there's a big reason behind that is because we've been talking about impact tricks where you can destroy thermite charges that are set up on this wall. So what a lot of teams start doing is just playing the thermite on the floor. They can put the extra thermite charge and it blows up a part of the wall in front of it. It works, but if you destroy the floor, that cannot happen, which in my opinion is why you should never run thermite on this map and only play Ivana. She is so much more flexible, and impact will not do anything against her X-Kairos. Later on, like, yeah, if she puts the Kairos on the middle of the wall, yeah, sure, but if she's doing it correctly on the bottom side of the wall, 100% you'll at least have a line of sight to play with something on it.
And what's interesting to me as well is essentially Space Station's bringing 3 shotguns, because the Meat was also running a shotgun, as well as you have essentially a shotgun pistol on Maestro. So they have the ability to set up a lot of destruction. You see the top of the walls for the impact nades as well as the floor that you were talking about.
Yeah, I believe Thinking Nate is running impacts here. I'd like to check that for a second, Marcio. You can head over to the smoke. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, they definitely have all the utility they need to make this work, although Rampy's not necessarily going to be bringing a lot of direct utility to address things, but he's going to be a flexible roamer, assuming they don't catch him off guard. But I think he should be able to play that role somewhat effectively, but they are going to take, from the usual side here, take control of the statue area potentially first. It is always risky to be using this drone to be droning, as you could potentially lose it, unless you know exactly where you're going to be using the shock. But in this case, doesn't necessarily need to use it for a lot of setup utility outside of perhaps the mute jammers and the ADSs.
All right, well, the Ash is going to drone in. And, oh no, that was a bit of an easy kill there. Geo will go down, or Senpai Geo. There you go. So the Ash is going to get removed from play. Impact will. Grenade and flash will get thrown in, and
timing.
There you go. The impact grenade will work, as Canadian will get one, and at least take down the mute, which means no more C4s available. The other side of the map, though, still in control of Space Station Gaming, and EG should be getting a wall open here, at least soon. TM. I'm not sure if they're even going to be able to set any thermite charges. Canadian trying to peek in, but the LMI and the Gzmot has already been set. Smoke has been thrown in, and there you go. They've at least opened the bottom side of the wall to try and have some sort of angle on things. Necrox chucking the nade, and will find the spot on Bosco. Canadian connects on Rampy. Now Smoke's being thrown in from Thinking Nade. Redeemer's already on the floor here, and they found the angle to try and take him out, and Thinking Nade is the only one alive. Information should have been called out here for EG if they did spot Redeemer down on the floor, and they're going to go for the pickup. Young will go for Diffuser plant. Redeemer getting 1 kill here. We've seen him do so much damage. Thinking Nade will drop one. Diffuser is set on the floor, and they're trying to play here right behind the reinforced wall, at least the vault door here. Redeemer moving in close to Maestro. He's done so much work like this in the past, and he'll find it. Thinking Nate as well. And round number 1 will go the way of SSG. The retake, beautiful. From Thinking Nate and Redeemer, the 2 anchors will make things work. And man, nobody really finishing off the Maestro in the back. Kind of killed it there for EG, but
I think he kind of spelled it out before the game even started with Redeemer and those clutches. The fact that
Redeemer on Maestro on Aviator and Villa. Oh
well,
yeah,
it's like Thinking Nate goes, you know what? All I got to do to win this is just pick up my buddy Redeemer over here. Now, to be fair, he did get a kill of his own afterwards, but he picks up Redeemer, and guess what? Not a single one of them takes damage after that.
Yep.
They just decimate them just because of the 2-man. Now, had it been Thinking Nate by himself, that would have been a very difficult retake. So the fact that he picked him back up was exactly what he needed to do, and it's just their inability to find that angle that you're talking about. Yeah, they had an angle at first, but then they lost it by his ability to kind of drag his corpse away just far enough to become an uncorpse. And it worked out. We'll see how well they do on Statue. We talked about that being also a good site for him as well. So we'll see how that works out. Canadian trying to trick a little bit in terms of the 6th pick, but just going to be playing the operator who's playing last round anyways. Rampy this time, instead of going for Ella as the roam operator, he's going to be bringing the Pulse this time to be able to potentially play a little bit more from below, which is, again, still going to be kind of a roam role, but one that is a little more dangerous now. We know Canadian tends to hunt roamers down on this map to an extent. So it is very likely that, much like last round, Canadian's going to go after him again.
Yep.
So he's going to have to be very careful, very smart, and use his heartbeat sensors somewhat horizontally to keep himself alive till the end of the round.
I'm intrigued by the Twitch pick. I mean, Twitch has had better days in terms of picks. Jackal has been a huge operator to play on this map. Both Canadian and Fox being the 2 operators that, well, the 2 players that play the operator quite a bit and for quite a bit of success. And it's a bit weird that we don't see that in the Twitch being in play. Maybe EG are expecting a lot more Mira play.
To be fair, we've seen Canadian shift to more of a fragging role over time, and that is definitely something that the F2 excels at. Not to mention the extra bit of backup utility you get for said Miras if they come up, so you don't feel like you have to ban it, because teams, as we've said before, are moving away from banning that. So in that situation, you're leaving it a little more up to chance. Are they going to bring that or not? And he's just kind of helping make sure that that's not such a potential problem if it comes up. Whether that's why he's doing it or not, it is definitely going to serve that function.
Well, Rampy will move in here. And just playing solo up in the vault. It's a very standard move to, you know, just spend some time on the opposite end of the map early on before falling back. And just waste a bit of time on your opponent's side. And later on, the reinforcements actually corner the attacking side in this part of the map if they end up spending too much time in this position. But what is the most important part of this map? For me, it's about holding on to Bedroom as an attacker, no matter what. And we're actually finally seeing
there it is, the roam hunting.
Yeah, there's something happening downstairs for once. And the wine cellars are going to be bloodied, or at least red.
Ooh, he's got backup, though. This is where it works, because he can call out for Chala to make the plays, but Canadian is very patient on angles. And he will be happy to let his team do most of the work while he's holding an angle to keep these people off
He's
site.
Just off the range.
I bet he wishes he had old pulse.
I'm sure a lot of people wish that. I should be able to find it. There we go. The Twitch has been spotted. So who will engage first?
Hopefully neither of them right away, and they'll just wait Canadian out to an extent because he's one.
Oh, the shotgun! There you go.
That's a good use.
That's why the shotgun is such a huge pick here for the Mute, but it's Gio that'll get one more. Thinking Nade here to get dropped, and no more smoke, and Bosco down as well. NVK will finish him off, and this turns out pretty well for EG, losing 2 important operators. Don't line up here. The C4 from Rampy will get thrown up and will connect. What? No!
The miss.
No,
that timing.
Is that a hard floor?
I think it might have been. Can't tell that from the ping.
All right, well, Chala will get the kill on MVK still. 3v2 advantage for SSG as they're able to bring things back to their favor. The Habana, which is the big pick here for the squad, has done the job. And really, honestly, you play this, especially professional level, don't break Thermite, just bring Habana. Make your life easier, really. It's not about challenging yourself as well. Playing the game at this level is already challenging enough. Necrox will try to go for the peek on Redeemer. Bit of damage done to the Maestro, but little time remaining here for EG. At least the 2 players left alive. Rampy will move up just a bit and should find the angle. No, Necrox and Young will find a kill each, and you know what? It's all up to Redeemer yet again. try to rotate in to deny the diffuser. Plant the sledge is in the back as he peeks very quickly, but Redeemer is still alive. No angle found. There you go. Young on the floor takes down Redeemer. Shot in the foot, and EG will win round number 2.
Certainly close, though. Definitely had a possibility for Redeemer to be able to bring that back, but just the angle crossfire they had left them with some 90-degree angles that were maybe a little bit too tight, and also the timing from the sledge there just somewhat working out. But they had a pretty good round for the most part. Yeah, they maybe lost a few too many people, but the fact that they were able to make Canadian waste a lot of time and then still get the kill on him and have enough time to rotate back upstairs definitely worked out pretty well for SSG. It just, they did not have a lot of site control because they committed 2 people downstairs, so they weren't able to get back up. And as you said before, sometimes they're trying to get back into site because the reinforcements can be difficult because you can't have the same level of rotations. So definitely going to be interesting as they look like they're going for the same lineup pretty much on defense this time again. For Statue, they're going to try it a second time on good old Statue Trophy. We'll see, though, if they're going to be a little bit better prepared this time. Now, Canadian's going to be also playing the same role. So I got to imagine they're going to play it differently downstairs, knowing that Canadian's going to go hunt that, unless they would, think, oh, well, that's fine. We'll take advantage of what we know about what Canadian's likely to do. But Canadian might go for a very different route this time and decide to better support his team in terms of maybe cut off their rotation up the stairs rather than try and actually hunt them down there. If you know how they want to rotate back up when pressure comes down from the rest of your team, you don't have to play as far down there. You don't have to get as deep in solo. You can use the fact that time or the diffuse potentially coming down baits them back up and into it. Something we saw being done against Accelerate last match.
I just want to mention something for people seeing this. The big reason of why Redeemer is destroying the glass before he sets up the Maestro cameras is because if you set up your Evil Eyes on the glass and one bullet comes in and shatters the glass, it automatically destroys your Maestro.
To be fair, that does make sense.
Yes. But that's the thing. If you guys didn't know it, there you go. Today I learned. And make sure that you don't make that mistake because it's a big part of utility. Those Evil Eyes can definitely do a lot of work.
Nice thing is it's easy to avoid. Just smash the glass.
Yep.
Well, we will see Canadian going downstairs again, maybe taking a little bit of a different approach, but it looks like he's not going to find anyone down there. Instead, he's looking for them to rotate down potentially against him, but Rampy's playing a little bit more upstairs. And again, this is the same bomb site. He's just going to be playing it a little bit differently. And in this case, it's smart on their part. Don't fall for Canadian's trap, but also make him waste a lot of time waiting for you.
Now drone in from Necrox to try and reveal anybody playing upstairs here in the game room, and there we go. We'll find one. Just fall back for a second. That was the Jaeger or Bosco. Necrox will move in. At least going with the drone. You would like to see what's going on as well, but
good use of mute jammer.
Yeah, Chala will deny that. The EMP is going to get chucked in here. Will allow the drone to continue on its merry way. ZenVK actually peeks in fairly aggressively here.
He is a somewhat aggressive Thatcher, much like Laxing, so it is not a huge surprise. I mean, it helps if you have someone that can frag on a support role. If their support role is not necessarily just for the end of the round, if it's for the first half of the round, you can get a lot of benefit from them being able to play somewhat aggressively and provide extra cover as your people enter and take map control. So it's very helpful to have people like NVK and Laxing do that.
Yeah, well, NVK here is just going to be watching for potential rotations. They still know there's a player on the opposite end, and the Jaeger that has not rotated just yet. Geo just rotating around to the bedroom, as again, it is a very important part of the map. It's either a transition position or just your main anchor for the attack. NVK will get one and then immediately fall back, and nobody really pouncing on the opportunity here. Redeemer falling from Space Station, and Bosco just sitting in place. ADSs will catch the first couple of flashbangs. Necros will get one. NVK with another on Bosco, eliminating the Jaeger. All that's left is Chala and Rampy here. Oh, no! Chala will not connect!
Please spam won't help you at point blank.
There you go. NVK are ready with 3 kills, and Rampy spotted from below. Canadian still watching in. Turn around from the stairs and find the kill, and there you go. That was pretty swift here from EG.
Unfortunately, spending so much time looking for the heartbeat, just didn't even see the heart coming towards him. Well, not the greatest round that time for SSG. Definitely struggled. That is twice now they have lost that bomb site. Definitely not going to be a good bomb site for them. And unfortunately for them, with the current format, there's a good chance they may have to try it again if they actually are successful on other sites. They are going to go back to Aviator now that they can. It's still the same rotation rules as before, which also means the possibility of a third bomb site twice. Now, in the current situation, so Oregon matches should be especially interesting, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. As I imagine teams are less inclined to play Oregon than they already were, as now they may have to play Tower twice.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Honestly, I've kind of lost my taste for Oregon. I don't know.
It was always my favorite map, but I have to say I am starting to become a bit more interested in some other maps. Maybe more so, but we'll see. You know, maybe people will change how they play on it, but more than likely, not so much until there's no operators involved.
All right, we're going to start the setup here in round number 4, and we are back in game room. So we'll get to see how Spacestation won't really change what they have in mind, and no real changes here for the squad, that's for sure. Of course, there's always the flexibility of, hey, do you want to run 2 shotguns or do you want to play a pulse? It really depends on how you'd like to play things. There's no real right or wrong answer.
Well, they're playing the same way they did round 1, so.
Yeah, and here Necrox is bringing the Jackal. So Canadian will stick to the Twitch just in case they have to deal with a mirror.
I mean, it hasn't been working out terrible for him, but at the same time, he wasn't even really able, or he wasn't really doing a lot till the end of the round last time as well, just because he's, I don't know, I mean, it's not a terrible role for him to play, but he's playing this kind of somewhat frag-heavy role, and I know there's nothing wrong with a frag operator, or, you know, a heavy gun operator playing an angle, just holding an angle. But at the same time, I feel like maybe we could be seeing more utility out of Canadian. That being said, he is doing a good job at least cutting off certain areas or trying to control the roamers to an extent, and it's not, you know, losing them rounds or anything like that. I just feel like there might be some more potential for him to play a little bit more with his team, but we'll see as the rounds go on whether or not that is a factor. Rampy, however, roaming kind of inside at the moment.
Yeah, Necrox and MVK are backing one another up, as of course they have spotted at least one player below, and actually they are on the stairs, so that's both the Ella and the Smoke.
Yeah, they're kind of pushing back a little bit now that study control's been taken.
Yeah, and this is why you run the Havana. It's just don't run Thermite. And we have this conversation so many times, but really, Habana allows you a lot more flexibility. You see the first hole that was opened up on the bottom, you cannot destroy that as a defender with impact tricks or anything like that. There we go. This is the mute playing on the opposite end, the smoke being on site. But Joe's coming in from above, and he's going to watch the stairs here for rotations. Now, you got to be careful with how you engage the stairs, but Chala will go down, and Gio will find the second one. They know there's still one more player downstairs, and Gio will be watching and waiting here.
Yeah, at this point, he can just hold an angle.
Yeah, and very much quick control of any late round rotations here. Young will just go for the plant ASAP. Necrox still tagged just a bit, but not enough to really do much to Evil Geniuses who've gotten the diffuser down, and they have a perfect bit of line of sight on them. Gio, even from below, destroying the bottom floor. So they have an angle on the diffuser from below. NVK will get one more on Redeemer. Necrox with one, and Bosco last alive. He tries to engage the Habana, very close, but Necrox in the back will find one more in the study, and that'll be the end of the round. Evil Geniuses perfect control here.
This is definitely not looking good for SSG in the sense that you said this was a defensive-sided map earlier. Well, with it not going to the defense, that puts them at a huge disadvantage on round switch. If EG can pull off a lot of defensive wins, similar to how they've been pulling off these attack wins, then it's not a great place to be in.
Here's the thing. EG, at least playing against C9, had only one defensive win in the U.S. Nationals.
True, but I would imagine they would have changed things up a little bit.
Very true, and also that was with not their main lineup, even though Gotcha still played pretty well. I mean, I know we're repeating ourselves, but it is very important to take a look at the context at which everything really happens, because it really does shed a massive light on how things are working in the team, and if things have indeed changed, then we'll see a big change on the attacking side lineup, possibly a bit more aggression with Ying being in play. And Spacestation, here's the thing, we've been discussing this a while ago, it's like, when do you switch sites if you're on the defensive side and you lost the site? Well, usually you will stick to the site if you know that the round was lost because of your glaring mistakes.
Yeah.
If not, then you can just change the site because, oh, our opponents are just better at it. We probably shouldn't play it.
In this case, it is a site they've won, but to be fair, they won the one round Evil Genius bought Thermite. So
very true.
That is a differentiator. The only round they've won was against Thermite, where they were able to impact Trick. So
very true.
That definitely seems to have made a difference to an extent. That also, it feels a little bit like EG are somewhat reading into the way that Spacestation are playing it, the way they're playing that kind of two-man roam, the way Rampy is very heavy on that roam, whether it be on Pulse or Ella. It's starting to get a little predictable. And now they're bringing out a more aggro side attack to just take advantage of the fact, hey, there's likely to be 2 men off site based off the way they've been playing. Let's just push in earlier, especially if we can kill Redeemer early like we did that one round, because he's going to be playing in somewhat predictable ways earlier in the round. If we can take advantage of that, and there he is right there as I say that, then absolutely you can get in there, especially if Necrox can get some good footprints early. That might put some pressure on people to stay in positions where they might be a little more secure by reinforced walls. Again, though, that assumes that you can burn the ADSs and get the situation where you can get those Candelas and things like that, get the right angles on them without getting shot mid-throw. But I certainly have the utility to do it, not to mention the smokes from Necrox to be able to help cover those throws. So it's definitely going to be down to whether or not SSG can read what's coming from this attack and be able to properly defend against it before it's too late and the plant's down.
Well, Geo will move in here, take down the default cam, and then set up for his drone to walk in just in case there was a mute jammer. And it would make a lot of sense that a mute jammer would be sitting here. It'll spot the Maestro, will fall away, and they'll have a bit of an angle to look through. So, oh no, Redeemer finds the shot on Geo, just playing the angle against him. Can't really knock off the discs here from the Habana, as they'll try to use that disadvantage. Necrox, though, lying on the floor, threads it. Redeemer does go down. SMG 11 shots rattling in, connecting on the side of the wall. As MVK will connect at least one to Thinking Nade's head here. Utility being launched into the site. There you go, the first smoke here to block things off. Bosco trying to contest the L hallways. NVK is just watching for potential rotates. Chaw's still in. He still has some utility set on the floor with his disruptors, but there's not really much that's going to help him here. Canadian being stunned by the Elagajmot, as Rampy is just watching the stairs for having to fall on the side, or at least look towards it.
Well, that's why you see Canadian rotating up now, but he could actually come right into where Rampy's at. Perfect timing. Fortunately, Rampy just not landing enough of those shots.
No! Canadian still wins the fight, and Bosco will land one on NVK, but might have just been enough here for EG, shutting down the Ella, the close-range gunfights. But more difficult to deal with. Bosco will be able to find the kill on the back. No, there you go. Necrox is going to go down, but both Young and Canadian are still alive, and Young saved by the bell. As Bosco will have to rotate back in. He is at full health, and a fuser has not gone down. So EG will have to rotate to the opposite end in the aviation room. See Redeemer giving out information. Oh no, the headshot lining in directly. He still has one more to go. The fuser is being set on the floor, and the Habana's low on health. Finally, he'll find him. Bosco will clutch the round. Jaeger smoke, whatever it may be. Bosco is here, and he's ready to save the day. And there you go. Spacestation Gaming will set the second round up on the board. Remind you, that is not the last round of the half. 5 rounds in, you still need one more. You play 6 on each side.
I was gonna commend Bosco for playing it cool, even in situations that were clutch situations that I was like, oh, maybe he's not gonna win them, but he's still playing it cool and calm either way, not giving up. Certainly paid off that round.
Yes.
Great game sense, though.
It's just, it's a bit of a shame that he shot through the Habana and she had like 1 health at the end of it.
Yeah. That doesn't help. But at the same time, he knew that, okay, I have some idea the plant went down right there based off of how long they took jockeying to plant the down. So I know they changed up positions. They're going to be planting in an area that's not exposed to the holes directly. Where is that most likely to be? This corner here, I can't see whether he's not there or not. But you know what? I might have the angle to tap whoever it is if they're hiding in that spot. And that's game sense. That's knowing angles. But he also made very dangerous but smart peeks to get an idea where people were at. You saw him twice peek and get his head shot at, but he took advantage of being a 3-speed to be able to make those peeks, I wouldn't say safely, but a little bit less risky than any of the slower operators would. The other thing they gave him a chance on that round was Redeemer getting the kill onto Geo as the first kill. Yeah, he maybe got traded after that, but he took away their opportunity to use those Candles along with the smoke to get that plant down much earlier in the round, which did give Bosco the opportunity to play off the extra time he had of them trying to get that plant down.
It was for a lot of people looking at it, it's just individual skill, but it's kind of a combo of everything. Information being relayed in from the Maestro, even from beyond the grave, still fairly important in situations like that. And then, of course, on top of it, you cannot deny Bosco's individual skill is all the way on top, and that really showed in that round. Well, here in the last round of this first half, round number 6, EG will still be on the attack, of course, and they're going to be moving in still again with the Habana. Important note of the new format as well is you can now end the first half at an even score. That is something that was not possible before. They'd always end in a 3-2 or even more uneven than that. And it was a situation where someone would always be coming out ahead in the half. Now that doesn't have to be the case. If SSG win this next round, it comes out tied. So we can have a tie that leads to a tie later on, whereas that was not a situation possible in the 5-5 format. And really, we'll see how things transpire throughout the season here, but it does make a lot of sense that we'll be seeing less ties overall at the end of the matches. And if we
more in the middle, for sure.
If we do get them, it means they're still a lot more close than you'd think. And
Gio on the stairs.
He finds the shot. Shala goes down. Interesting that Shala is running the mute with no shotgun, which, again, it's not something you have to run, but it's very flexible just to run SMG 11 shotgun. But it seems like there wasn't a lot of setup required to have 2 shotguns on here.
They were running 2 earlier, but certainly don't need 2 now. But they're also playing a bomb site they had not played yet. They're just down there in Kitchen. They've been playing entirely top floor bomb sites between Aviator and Statue Trophy the whole time. So this is, a first change up for them. So, nice angles being opened here, though, from Gio.
And still a big part of attacking this Kitchen site is, oh, hey, I will need to take control of the bathroom because I need to know what's going on below me and maybe find a kill or 2. It's not really out of the ordinary to do that. And Gio's going to rotate down and just watch in here as Young will try to open up the wall in from Laundry and try to maybe walk in for a plant in the dining hall. Thinking nade, getting ready to deal with anyone in there. Now, you can potentially impact trick all of that, but of course the Habana kind of make things a lot more complicated for the defenders to do this sort of play. Thinking nade, taking a bit of damage, but still nothing too deadly. Losing one player on here really will hamper you because there's so many angles, especially from the hallway for you to watch, and Thinking nade goes down, walks right into Necrox's grenade.
Oh, the unfortunate timing from Bosco, not there, NBK punishing it.
Redeemer again falling to Canadian and just peeks into the set with the FAMAS. And Canadian will find another one. Redeemer in the back getting taken down. Evil Geniuses. A beautiful bit of play here in the round. Just taking control of the top floor, clearing it out, getting the 1 kill that they required, and then following things up by opening up as many lines of sight into, well, the dining hall mainly, from top and from the side to take out any players that are on it, and just Canadian just gets frags off of it.
Yeah, it was really big difference. So there was 2 things that made that bomb site work out much worse for them. 1 is the additional angles that they were able to open up horizontally on them, and 2 is the additional angles they were able to open up vertically. When you're on the top bomb site, people can't open up the roof above you, and it's situations where you throw a grenade down like Necrox did that managed to catch him off guard. So because top floor, they were able to do a much better job hiding in sight, right? Because you don't have the floors getting opened above you, people chucking things down, getting angles on you, opening up pressure. Once they got down to the bottom floor, it definitely became a different ballgame. Their ability to play inside sight didn't really benefit them nearly as much as it did on the top floor. And their inability to play a roam game with Canadian hunting them the way they were on that bomb site really just left them at a huge disadvantage in terms of being able to have any map control to slow them down at all either. So it was, I don't know, that was just not a great bomb site for them.
Now, one thing to highlight is the fact that EG did play Villa multiple times throughout US Nationals.
Yeah.
And they had one more match against Rogue. Now, I want to highlight specifically C9 and Rogue in those 2 matchups because both teams are pretty excellent on this map. And Villa actually went the way of EG when they played Rogue. It was 7-5, so it went over to overtime. And in that way, 4 defensive rounds were won by EG, and an extra one on defense or on overtime as well.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of where Gotcha was playing a lot of the Clash on the 90.
So there you go. Even though in that matchup, Echo, Glaz, Maverick, and Maestro will banned. So interesting enough, there's quite a few things to look around with. So hey, thanks for everyone letting us know that there's some extra stuff and extra numbers that we all need to look out for.
Seems like every season there's extra numbers.
It's great, man. I love statistics.
No, it absolutely is. And Shout out to our friends at SSG for helping with some extra statistics bonus on top of that as well. So, Bosco hoping to try and channel a little bit of what Gio was bringing last time. Fortunately, he is seeming to be a little bit slower at it. As there we go, a lot of shots coming out, just getting slowed down. We'll see if NBK, though, can play Maestro half as well as Redeemer was doing in a lot of the earlier rounds.
All right, well, NBK just looking around here. Bosco with a nade all the way in the back, just to be sure. And again, breaching round being thrown up into the Evil Eye to destroy it. It's just much easier to rely on the explosive radius of the breaching round compared to Zofia's impact grenades, just because you have a larger explosive radius with Ash compared to Zofia. So that is a clear numbers advantage.
I think so far we've only seen Zofia played even once so far, but Rampy, nice job through the window. There goes NBK, but you need to finish that kill because we saw what happened when they didn't on Redeemer earlier. There we go.
There you go. That's MVK down, and Rampy will be the one to do it. Canadian still not spotted here as Bosco is just moving around. He's going to turn off the ERC, but there you go. Bosco should have given out the information, turning on the ERC again. He can move around and play through the hatch, but Canadian realizing there's someone in the hallway as well, doesn't really want to deal with the Ash Bosco, and very smartly will fall back. Rampy just moving in here with a switch drone, and the Twitch really in play here, though the odd thing still is Chala is running the Thermite, and this is really the only position with the Thermite is a good pick. You're just wanting to open a big hole to enter through into the game room, and well, the hallway, once you have control of it, is the perfect position for such a play. Absolutely,
you can, especially if you can open up the gun vault as well. It's a great place to open up to be able to just cut their rotation off really between the two sites, so they're forced to use the one on the bar side, and that's a trickier one to rotate through sometimes.
Very true. Well, Rampy will find another one here on Canadian. Gio from below finds one on Redeemer. Still C4 available. Necrox with one more. He walks right into two players here. One dropped in the back. Rampy last man alive, and Diffuser is being held here by EG. 2v1 in this situation as Rampy will finish off Necrox. Will have to walk right into the bar, and no, he lands right on top, and Young will still find the kill. 2 at the end here for Young as he had already downed one of these two players. And was aiming to the side, but instantly flicking onto the Twitch and able to finish her off before she looks down onto him. So there you go. Great play there by Young, and EG take the advantage 5-2 here as we head into round number 8. It's pretty good control on the site, even if the hallway was taken very swiftly by Spacestation.
I got to admit, we were saying, why is there the same percentage odds for EG versus SSG as there is for Reciprocity versus Accelerate? But you get to the halfway point, and the score lines are the same. So it is looking, unfortunately, kind of close to what we just saw in the last match. I mean, plenty of room for things to change here, and very likely they will. But at the same time, it is a little worrying for SSG to be down like this, especially with such a new strong player. Maybe they just haven't figured out the right roles yet, because Bosco seems to be doing fairly decent at what he's being asked to do, but at the same time, maybe some of the other roles had to shift to accommodate the way he plays, as you mentioned, differently than Brian, and that might have caused a little bit of a disarray in how they're playing. Because of that, that could cause problems. Obviously, Redeemer's mostly playing stuff he had been comfortable with before, at least on defense. But it only really brought them 2 rounds. Now, those were 2 rounds entirely on defense. If this still continues to be a defensive-sided map, that won't be great. But if EG has some weaker defenses like they had some of the time before, this is going to see a chance for SSG to kind of climb back at least a little bit, if not try and get towards a tie.
Yeah, it would be weird to have the first 2 games end up in 7-2s, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see the reinforcements here being set up. Heavy commitment from EG on the opposite end of the map. So, still, even though we don't see Game Room in play, yep, there you go. Gio just falling back, realizing he doesn't really want to deal with the ACOGs in here. And see the goo mines being set down on the floor, slow things down for the attacking side of Space Station, as Bosco is trying to decide where is he going to go from. Space Station just continuing with the drone play as they head up to the bedroom, but bedroom's a very important part of the attack. Still, it is not the only part. You should not neglect the entire map, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you had, for example, Canadian definitely not doing in the way he would attack the bottom floor primarily.
You still need someone to do that sort of thing. And you know, the Ash here, or even the IQ or the Twitch are 3 operators that can definitely do this sort of thing, leaving Thinking Nate and Chala around in bedroom to eventually destroy the wall. Definitely will work out. Now, I'm not sure if Necrox is running impact grenades here. No, he is running barbed wire, so the only person with impacts in this situation should be Gio. I'm not sure, again, if Canadian is running his bulletproof camera. So,
yep, looks like it. Makes sense, especially for this bomb site.
So we only have one set of those impacts, and yeah, nothing should be fighting against this. What's there? Wait, how's that hole so tiny?
Looks like he's going to stop that though.
Yep.
So well played.
Was there? Is that an open hole on the side, on the right side? I'm still not sure.
The attacker's
I mean,
bomb
am I
diffuser has
blind?
been dropped.
No, on the bottom.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it looks
Is it
like
open?
It blew open to
It
an
is.
extent, but not all the way.
How did? Wasn't the entire side of the floor but the wall destroyed?
I think he was hitting it with the I was gonna say X-Cameras, but no, they didn't bring a hub on it. No.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, we saw a similar situation earlier
Maybe.
where EG was able to do the same thing. They were able to get
like
a bottom of the wall open
located.
despite the floor being destroyed as well. So it seems these guys have managed to adapt a little bit in terms of finding ways to deal with that. Ooh, nice shot there, but not quite enough.
Yeah, a bit of a weird situation there, but there you go. Bosco's going to get pulled back here as Necrox will be finished off. There you go. Nicely done by Chala. Still using the window to his advantage. NVK with one, though, onto Rampy. I'll take down the Twitch that was supposed to run in from the opposite end of the map later on. Redeemer still peeking in, playing with the AUG this time. I'm not sure what NVK is trying to do in this one here, and Gio will find it. Redeemer will go down. Still spotting the second as Young should be able to support here, but Chala will find him, and Bosco with the second. All up to Big Bad Canadian as Chala will go down. The diffuser's in the back. What? What are you doing? Diffuser's in the back. 6 seconds left on the clock. He'll try to fight, but no. Thinking Nate is finally able to get the shot. 2 seconds left. Canadian will fall down, even with the diffuser being all the way in the back in the closet. My God, that was that was close.
Yeah, that was definitely a worrying situation to be in. Obviously, I seriously doubt they just left it there. It was probably more a case of someone dying with the diffuser a little bit out of position, but either way, well done by SSG managing to save that. Unfortunately for Canadian, he was kind of surrounded. Had he been able to land the 1 kill, he might have been able to whip around to get the second. But because he missed too many shots.
And in that spot, when there's 2 people coming in from, you know, one from each angle,
yeah,
you know, there's not a lot that you can expect from your players.
Well, you can expect a lot. You just won't always.
Yeah, all right. If you say it that way.
Yeah. Well, what are Canadian? I was going to say, is Canadian be going to Pulse or Vigil? Because, yeah, neither of them are banned, and he's definitely going to be playing either one as often as he can, pretty much.
Defenders protect
Although, you know, he did play the dog last time, but yeah, he's going to go back to good old Pulse. Something he's going to be good on. Canadian, pretty much everyone with somewhat even kills on EG, whereas not as much in the case of Rampy and Thinking Nate on SSG. Bosco, though, definitely showing up for his team, as is Redeemer and Chala. So it's just a case of them needing to pick up a few more rounds in their favor, and I think things will look a little more evened out. But either way, definitely not going to be a 5-2 scoreline or 7-2 scoreline at the end.
Well, Gio setting up here behind the desk, and Astronomy is, again, they'll have the site replayed. Some mistakes done by AG, and again, the big decision is, when do we switch?
I like to use the deployable shield just because a lot of times players inside Astronomy are forced to hide behind the desk, which becomes very predictable and leaves you nowhere to move towards.
Yep.
Whereas you saw they left the wall soft right there behind the deployable shield, leaving the opportunity for them to open up a rotation hole to be able to actually crawl away. I mean, there is enough of a gap to potentially catch someone rotating between the deployable shield and the wall, but at the same time, if they're not watching the right angle for that, you might be able to get away in a lot of situations where they're just peeking and taking shots at the shield, or trying to catch someone that they think is behind the desk. So I like that use of trying to make Astronomy a little more defendable, because we often see people die there because the desk is only so good.
All right, Bosco just continuing to drone alongside the squad here, Space Station, as, again, they are attacking the same site that they went through before. The mute spotted in the back, and Chala will use one of his sets of Thermite to open up the wall into site here, at least what usually would be a site in the game room and, well, in the back in aviation, but has given EG more than enough time to just fall back, and there will be nobody left here as There you go. They're on the opposite end. They've expended utility, and they have burned away time, and that's exactly what you're looking for if your Space Station C4 thrown up, and no!
Unfortunately for Canadian, just did not find the right moment to trigger that. And we see one of the uses of the Twitch that seems to be brought pretty consistently by both teams, whether it be Rampy or Canadian.
Rampy just moving in, trying to find some sort of pick early on, but none will be given. Flash right in here from Bosco. Usually there's somebody sticking around here from Statue, and will not be the case here. Extra flash being thrown in just in case there's something been missed by the Twitch. Scanning in from the bottom floor, Bosco has fallen back though, and I don't know if he spotted the player here downstairs, but should be able to react to it and at least play close to it. ADSs as well being popped off here as both Twitch drones have finally been destroyed. Rampy peeking in very slowly here as there's no control of the bedroom. The fuser being put down in the back, but the smoke will die, and Young will connect from the opposite. And Young checking the C4 right into Redeemer, thinking it with one on a Canadian, but will be enough to save the day here for Space Station. 3v3 with the fuser right on the floor in front of the doorway, but Statuary. There's 25 seconds on the clock. See the Twitch disappointed as well here about what's going on. Chala will find it. NVK will go down, but Young, the perfect spot with the SMG-11 to find the kill that he needs. It's Geo as well to connect from the opposite end. Geo and one. Young with another. Now watching up close, the fuser still not been spotted and set. Thinking Nate will have to rotate into the opposite end, but they're ready for him, and Young will finish him off. Evil Geniuses will take round number 9 and get themselves a bit closer to victory, literally a round away.
That was absolutely Young's round, just fighting from across the way on the other side. Absolutely just destroying all the attempts at attacking. And I mean, that was a great push in and ability to get the smoke, but just quickly punished and then punished and then punished again with the C4 or the gun. He got at least 3 kills that round from that side. It was definitely just something they were not prepared to deal with, which is, I mean, you saw him drop down to deal with, okay, I don't want to get shot from the side from Rampy, but then immediately after getting the kill that he gets shot from the side he was trying to avoid because he had to get up to get the kill onto the smoke. And it's just one of the situations where you need someone there covering that, and, well, they unfortunately got both killed by the same player of Young.
All right, now the big question. Can Space Station come back from this? Because they have done so in the past.
Well, if they don't this round, they certainly won't the rest of the night.
Yes, and they need to tie this up. Again, we'll remind you, the only way to go through with this is to tie things up. If you win the match, you get 3 points. You know, we saw it with the reciprocity. Remind you of how things work, really. You win, you get 3 points. You lose, you get nothing. And if you tie, each team gets a point.
Yeah, I mean, it's the beginning of the season. There's still a lot of opportunities to make things up because not only do you have the Invitational, you also have a lot of time after that.
But that's what we said last season. And
to be fair, last season, the second halves were often very different from the first.
Exactly, and that's the thing you need to worry about. Meta changes with Clyde and Nomad.
I guess what I'm saying is if you get off to a bad start, you're very likely, if anything's season's last indication, you might be off to a great finish. We certainly saw teams that managed to make some comebacks late in the season, so I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure, but it's certainly a possibility for teams that might get off to a slow start, especially with how many teams have roster changes. Evil Geniuses didn't change anyone. Space Station did, so hey, if they get off to a rocky start, they could chalk it up to, well, Bosco's knew we had to change some roles. Not a big deal.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, obviously you want to win every single match, let's be honest with it. There's no one wanting to just tie.
Still, like, yeah, it's like in football, like actual football and stuff like that. It's just, hey, you'll lose against a rival, but you'll just beat everybody else.
I don't know what actual football meant, because that could have meant either.
Ball that you play with, with your foot, which, makes sense. But Canadian will get the kill on Bosco early on, so the Ash is going to get removed here. Bit problematic, because now you don't have anybody really to watch your flanks later on in the round. And usually when EG get a bit, flustered or just want to end things, they'll run the Rook and the Dog combo, and it's definitely
more
something.
More often than not, we've been saying that, and they've been just fine.
Yeah.
To be fair, like that used to be more of a we're tilted, we're gonna lose thing. Now it's more of a hey, we want to close this out, and we're just kind of like we're gonna play our safer roles a little bit longer and not be as aggressive. Or be aggressive with the ability to take a few bullets back. So you never know. Could go either way, but this is the closeout round potentially for EG.
All right, Rampy continuing in here on the drone, the combatant on the Twitch, and we'll try to find any utility that's been set up, you know, ADSs and such. But he'll lose one of them. I'm not sure if he already lost the second one, or it is deployed somewhere. And
deployed somewhere.
Deployed
Answers
somewhere.
that question. Thank you, Rampy, for hearing us.
Of course he can.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we've seen so far a lot of great utility out of the Twitch drones in terms of taking out ADSs because there has been a lot of Jaeger play, so it's been helpful.
I don't think anybody realizes Rampy's even...
No, he's just gonna... Don't knock or use the doorbell. This is where you maybe take some shots through, if nothing else. Those shots as well might not give him away completely because the door is completely untouched. It won't be letting as much sound through as if there was any damage to it at all.
Very true.
So there's oh, no one there.
Unfortunately for Rampy, his Canadian here has fallen back and the door is finally destroyed. Well, now Canadian's watching and NVK will be the one to go down. I'm not sure what NVK, maybe he was trying to contest Rampy. But if I'm the Maestro, I probably don't want to do that. And Canadian will win it out, so now he can heal himself back up. And that's pretty much an equal trade, as still losing the Maestro is not great. Young, though, will make sure that this is positive in the way of EG, taking down Shala. That's still alive. Thinking Nade and Redeemer will go down instantaneously. Evil Geniuses will clean things up, and that will be that 7-3 scoreline in our second matchup of the night and of NA Pro League for Season 9. Man,
well,
EG really put the hammer down.
They don't want a bad start like they had last season. Tell you what, they are definitely off to a good one, and so far showing that having Geo back is definitely a help. But either way, not the worst showing for SSG, just definitely not the one they were hoping for.
I really hope that we get an interview for this one, because in our first matchup, we couldn't get Fox on the line. Fox was on the run.
Yeah, he was on the run. They told him he had to get to the team house, so he took his computer and just bolted. He's playing from McDonald's, I believe. So good for him.
On like just Wi-Fi at the restaurant.
It's fine. It's fine. He bought a couple Big Macs. He gets Wi-Fi access.
I actually knew someone that did that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I've heard of that being done. Well, either way, I don't imagine that's going to be the case for EG.
No. So
they don't have a team house, though, to be fair. They're not in the same situation that Cloud9.
But here's the thing. They did practice in Canada for a week or so before going to Rio. So I think their philosophy is it's better for us to boot camp than to live together, which is okay. You know, again, it doesn't work well for everyone.
Well, G2's philosophy has been to do neither at this point.
And just win.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what they do. They just win. Honestly. I mean, they have a lost a few, to be fair. They've been knocked down. But we'll save that for Thursday.
Yeah. So. EU.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, LATAM. And EU's twice this week.
Yeah. Just to make sure that come the next week, you're sick of them already.
Man, again, 23 days from now until the end of January. 19 broadcasts in which you get to see all 4 of our faces.
We're actually going to be sleeping here.
Yeah, they kind of put a room in the back, and we're like just bunk beds.
Yeah. There's no McDonald's close enough to take my computer to, so. Either way, though, back to the match. Though, I do want to say that I feel like Young was definitely an MVP for me in that round.
Oh, 100%.
Canadian was a somewhat stable play, but...
Throughout, I mean, Canadian always pretty much performs, no matter the match. I don't think I've ever seen Canadian not performing up. Like, there's rare rounds.
Never to his own expectations, I imagine, but...
Yeah, that's very true. But there's very few times where Canadian will not perform to the level where he is at. But Young really put in the extra work in this matchup and really was able to get her done.
That's not to say that he doesn't usually. He definitely pulls off a lot of clutches, a lot of great plays. But I feel like just on Villa, he was really, especially in defensive roles, just making it really hard for SSG. And while Redeemer had a great start, it felt like he was kind of losing his ability to hold a lot of clutch positions that he normally would be able to. Perhaps on other maps, he started to seem a little trapped in a lot of situations on this because they kind of figured out, well, we know where he's going to be playing. They would often drone him out. They would take advantage of that drone knowledge to be able to put pressure on him further. Wouldn't always win the gunfights against him, but trapping him in there and getting those kills a lot of times left it down to players like Bosco to be able to try and save it. There was a lot of plays where SSG was playing off-site and getting kind of caught off guard by EG's ability to take control of the site earlier, with or without Candelas. It felt like EG were very in the driver's seat on that matchup, and SSG seemed like, while they had some good plays at the beginning, they just lost control, and the droning coming out from EG was doing well enough to catch them where they're at. And when they were on defense as well, their ability to call it where the players were or to be able to play against the droning seemed to work out. Even when Canadian, for example, just in that, you know, the situation where he was getting droned in 90 as Vigil and still just kind of playing against the window. And I don't know, it just seemed to work out a lot better for them. They were also not getting trapped on stairs the way that SSG seemed to quite often on those red stairs.
Yeah, and it really came down to who was the team that lost the player early on. And we saw, you know, losing the Ash in that very final round kind of slowed down a bit too much.
Yeah, that didn't seem to happen for Geo as much as it did for Bosco, unfortunately.
Yeah. Both teams are, I want to say, fairly equal in a lot of things, but it was very obvious in this matchup here that EG, in their 4 lineup, were in form. Yeah. If you look at it in our last season, EG kind of had, you know, rocky start, and then by the closer to the half of the season, really get things going. So we'll see what EG actually inform us of what was going on through this game with a very interesting interview. Geo is coming right up. All right. Good evening, Geo. How are you?
How's it going?
Pretty good. Always fun to have a bit of chit-chat with you. So, first of all, congratulations on your win against Spacestation. Well, a lot of people are starting to call a rivalry between the two teams because Spacestation have definitely been putting up the numbers, and they're definitely a scary team coming into this season. Though, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. First of all, why do you think there was so much Twitch in play in this? Because Twitch kind of dropped in terms of pick rate, and here both teams were kind of picking her up quite a bit. Is it only for the mirror or what?
Not even for the mirror. For example, for us, we picked it up because it allows a lot of solo play. For example, you can literally the Twitch ones, at least the elite skin. It's like kind of hard to hear the drone, so basically you can creep up on people, drone it yourself, make plays. That's why we brought it, just to make the plays all around.
Yeah, and it very much did work out. Now, Canadian was pinched at some point down in the wine cellar, but it's very difficult to kind of deal with 2 players in a position that already favors the defenders.
Sure.
But, you know, Thermite versus Habana. Early on, the very first round where you guys ended up failing in the attack, you brought a Thermite and then swiftly changed it to a Habana. Can you just clear things up in why you would pretty much always pick Habana versus the Thermite on Villa?
Basically, as you guys can see, the walls can get impact tricked. So basically, you just break the top of the wall and you throw an impact and it destroys. It can destroy any Thermite you put down, but with the Habanas, if you place them at the bottom, it can't destroy them. So that's basically why we switched. I wasn't on that side of the map, so I'm not pretty sure if like they were impacting our Thermites. But that's in my opinion, that's why we do it. So I'm pretty sure they did it as well.
Yeah, I think from my testing, the only way to not be impacted as a Thermite, if there's one single wall, so between bedroom and statuary, and there you have to just crouch, and there's no way to really deal with it if you do it in the middle of the wall. There's some technical stuff just in case. And now, I mean, there was the round where Bosco was able to clutch it in a 2v1. You guys were attacking in game room. He did a lot of damage to the Habana, and then it was Canadian and Young that were alive in that round, and they just maneuvered around to the opposite end of the site itself. What was going on there in comms? Because things kind of broke down with the peak from Canadian as well when he knew it was very low on health against a full health Jaeger.
Honestly, it was kind of miscommunication. Basically, I'm pretty sure everyone died to not knowing what they died, other than Troy. Troy actually got peaked and he died. Then what's it called? I think Young got wall banged. But other than that, the comms weren't really that bad. I think we just reset. You know, at the when you get clutched on, at that point, like the round's over. No need to talk about it or remind. Just keep positive thoughts, and that's what we did.
There you go, such a positive man. Well, Young had a pretty darn sweet 3K hold, a mute, and trophy. So. I don't know.
Birthday boy.
The birthday boy. Yeah. It was his birthday yesterday, so there you go. I am not mistaken in that information. Happy birthday, Young, 22 years old. 22 years old. There you go. Pretty darn sweet. Anyways, so on his birthday, he got a 3K for his birthday cake, which is pretty darn sweet from him. How are things happening on the team to guide him through that situation? Because he was cornered and could have been peeked from the doorway at any point in time.
Basically, I don't know if they showed, but that round I bought Maestro, and I basically had both Evil Eyes looking for info. So basically, I had one Evil Eye in Astronomy looking at the board door, which is his door, and then I had the other Evil Eye looking at Master. So basically, we were just feeding him Minto. We said the Thermite was coming through the door. He killed him. We had his boar, and basically I picked to kill the planner, and that's how we won the round.
All right, well, excellent play there by you guys. Again, congratulations. 7-3 victory against Spacestation Gaming. Gio, anything you'd like to say to any and all the fans that are watching here in their very first matchup of this season?
No, appreciate all the support, guys, as always. Thanks for having me on here. And like I said, happy birthday to Young. I know it was yesterday, but it feels amazing to win after a birthday.
All right, well, thank you very much, Gio. Again, I hope we see you guys in form, as Rio left a few things to be desired. But
For sure.
I'm sure you guys will be back in the saddle in no time. Anyways.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Good night.
Good night.